Hi, I'm Indy Nidell, and this is Out of the Trenches, where I sit here in the chair of wisdom and answer your questions about the First World War. Ragin' Cajun, not Cajun, Cajun, from Patreon writes, "Hello, Indy." Oh, exclamation point. "Hello, Indy." "Hello, Ragin' Cajun. Love the show. You've inspired me to try to learn more about my great-grandfather, a German soldier who served on the Eastern Front and later became a prisoner of war. Here's my question, okay? During the war, was there any thought given to dishonorable actions, quote, dishonorable actions, like assassinations or false flag operations? Keep up the good work." Well, the most famous assassination was, of course, the death of Franz Ferdinand. The Serbian underground society, the Black Hand, was infamous for its espionage and sabotage attempts long before 1914, and repeatedly tried to assassinate members of the royal family. Now, they still existed in 1916, when they even plotted to assassinate the Serbian Prince Regent Alexander, but they became so powerful and influential that the Serbian Prime Minister, Nikola Pasic, gave the order to arrest and execute all of the Black Hand leaders. I think one of the most famous and thrilling secret operations was on July 30th of the war, was on July 30th, 1916 in New Jersey, in the United States. German agents under the command of the German spy Franz von Rintelen, who allegedly worked for the German ambassador von Bernstorff, blew up a warehouse with around 2 million pounds of small arms and ammunition and 100,000 pounds of TNT destined for the Entente in France. Half of the harbor was wrecked by the detonation, and shrapnel shattered windows, for miles around. Since the US was neutral at this point, at least officially, this was considered an act of terrorism. There were other rumors during the war that, Lord Kitchener might have been the victim of a Boer agent working for the Germans who claimed to have given the German submarine the exact position of the ship he was traveling on. Field Marshal Colmar von der Goltz, the German in Ottoman service, who was working with them in the Middle East, might have been poisoned by either Albanians or Young Turks. And the assassination attempt on Lenin in 1918 was actually planned by the British master spy Sidney Riley. But we don't know those for sure. Pedro Terra on Facebook writes, "Hello, super great show." Thank you, Pedro. Question, how did Dazzle Camouflage work for ships? I see a variety of pictures, but I would love to hear an explanation from Indy. Thanks a lot. Okay, here we go. The idea of camouflage in the field usually was to conceal a soldier or a field gun behind or between natural obstacles with the help of something like paint or foliage. But that does not work at sea, right? The outlines of a ship will always be visible in front of the horizon. So instead of concealing the ship, military engineers had to think outside the box. And the solution that came to them was given to them by a zoologist. They had to conceal the shape of their ships like zebras concealed theirs. The predator had to be confused by contrasts and merging patterns. The British Navy was the first to use what we can call disruptive camouflage on their battleships. The painting of the camouflage was deliberately confusing without recurring patterns and a lot of counter shading. The use of contrasts between black and white would make it difficult to identify the exact outlines of the ship. Outlines of the guns would merge with the ship, and the ship would merge with the sea. And if the enemy observer could not make out the stem or the stern of the ship, he couldn't, with any 100% accuracy, predict the direction the ship was heading in. As I said, the idea was not to hide the existence of the ship, it was to make it unpredictable in where it was heading and at what distance it was sailing. The accurate calculation of distance was crucial in the world of long-range naval warfare. And if you denied your enemy that, your ship was, for all intents and purposes, invisible. Lily Mackey writes on Patreon, "Hi, Indy." Hi, Lily. Let me say that better. Hi, Lily. Okay. "My grandfather was an Anzac and looked after the horses. He signed on very early and was actually given a British uniform rather than a New Zealand uniform. My mother has his war diary from the last year of the war, and in the back 12 pages are pencil markings which looks like writing but isn't recognizable. Could it be that he had written a message in a secret code? Now, Lily, that is an interesting question. Codes were usually used in telegrams, written orders, or letters to prevent the enemy from knowing which units were operating or in what size or what context. Check if you can make out maybe some sort of pattern, some fragments that repeat themselves. That's how, code breakers usually start out, which I hope you're doing. But let's assume it is for a minute information that was written in a secret code. What could your grandfather have written that was not supposed to be publicly known? Secret orders? Off-the-books operations? Maybe he experienced something that nobody but he was supposed to know. Maybe some truth that was hidden from the history books. We might never know. Military censorship was sharp in the Anzac Corps, and even slight critical opinions might have gotten your father into serious trouble. But still, what could have been that dangerous that he had to code it? Man, I wish I could answer this better, but I really want you to find out, and I want you to let us know. Maybe you can even copy it and send it along, put it in the comments, and maybe it'll turn out to be some horrible secret from the war and everybody hates you. But maybe not. Maybe it's something good. Actually, and if you'd like to know more about the Anzacs, you can check out our special episode about that right here. You should definitely like us on Facebook, and you should definitely follow us on Twitter for all kinds of cool things. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.